Hey, do you like Lego? Me too, buddy. What about pirates? Well then, have you come to the right place today, my friend? What if I told you that Lego was making pirate sets all the way back to 1989? The trick is, they seem to come and go rather quickly. And if you don't pick one up for retail, you'll be paying for it. Yeah, yikes. That is eye-watering. But fear not, because Lego has something for you. This is the new set 10320 Eldorado Fortress. A remake of one of the flagship sets of the original wave of pirates back in 1989. Lego has now remade essentially both of the flagship sets from 1989 Pirates, the first wave, Eldorado Fortress here, and the Black Seas Barracuda, which is represented in the Pirates of Barracuda Bay set, which is now retired, unfortunately. But you can now get Eldorado Fortress remastered in high fidelity 4K at 2,509 pieces, and look at it. It is beautiful. Let's start off straight away by looking at the minifigures, of which there are many. The Fortress Battalion is excellent. We've got soldiers of every rank, all the way from privates with their little tall hats, all the way up to the governor who gets his own office and map. Very important individual. I love the old school look that they all bring to the table with their uniforms. My favorite has to be the guy with the pencil mustache. Really reminds me of the classic figure I'm sure we're all familiar with. For pirates, we get two, and they both look excellent. The leader is Captain Samantha here, and she's accompanied by her first mate, Daryl, who looks like he's met with the business end of the ugly stick. We also have a third long-lost brother or sister who had fallen into a crawl space while trying to unearth the secrets of Eldorado Fortress, never to be seen again. Let's take a moment of silence to remember their sacrifice. We've also got some animals. Got a parrot and a monkey looking very nice. I really like the monkey. Parrot's it's okay, it's fine. Well, let's have a little gander first of all at this pirate ship here. In the original set, you got two rowboats, I believe, but here you get a rowboat. Now, one of them has been seriously upgraded into a small little pirate ship, but it was really fun to build. Really nice start, honestly. Get cloth sails, that's a bonus. And I think it just looks simple, but really effective. Good colors with the red and the black and the yellow and the white. And just some really good part usage too. Fans of the Icon's Porsche 911 may recognize the elements used to create the bow of the ship there. This was my first ever pirate ship build, and I could see this being addictive. That was pretty awesome, and this thing's small. And not a lot to say about the rowboat, just a couple benches, some oars, and a little pirate flag, just to tell you what side they're batting for. The build of this set is pretty interesting, as you may have been able to notice from either owning or just the picture of the classic set. It is on an old school raised base plate, and love them or hate them for what they are, the Lego does not have them anymore, so naturally here you will be brick building the entire base plate essentially, which includes a lot of rock work. Building up to the fortress proper, you will be rebuilding this classic cobblestone pathway, which was all smooth prior. You get up to the gates. If they are kind enough to let you in, maybe they've had one too many beverages at the old courtyard table and they'll let just anybody in. You'll be able to go in, see the courtyard in the middle, which is all black. They got a little kitchen set up right down there. There's torches. There is also, can I just say, there is a ton of weapons here. Like, we're talking cannon. There's like 16,000 muskets. This bin in here has 2 flintlock pistols. The pirates have got more swords than they have hands on their team. It's insane. There are a ton of weapons. Also in the courtyard, you will notice a jail cell to keep any pirates that you manage to nab. A bunch of barrels, the ones here are empty. Some sacks, some storage, some extra cannon shells that you can load into all these spring-loaded cannons, which they shoot very far. These are way cooler than like the Star Wars spring-loaded missile launchers, can I just say? These things are awesome. Beyond that, you'll have ladder access to all these second floor amenities, including a little lookout tower. You've got the crane, of course. They had to have that from the classic set. Mechanism here is not as cool. I'll talk about that in a moment. And then you can get up to the governor's office as well, which is right here. You also get, of course, the walkway out front. It's rather narrow, and then you can go up a side staircase and get into the fortress that way, which is a lot less heavily guarded, it must be said. You will notice in the original set as well, all of the exposed brickwork from the broken down plaster or whatever it is they were using back in those days is done by some really awesome prints, actually. That is no longer the case here. You are building that all primarily with these maroon colored rounded 1x2 plates. And how do I feel about it? It's okay. It does get a little bit fiddly at times when you're putting all these tiny little plates. And then you get to my least favorite step in any Lego instruction booklet, and I'm sure you can appreciate this. Stacking two of the same size plate on top of each other. Ooh. Have a look at this. And let me tell you, that step is in this set dozens and dozens and dozens of times, primarily because you're building up these brick details. Oh, I feel dirty after all that. I'm gonna need a shower. I feel like the solution at this point is really for Lego to start looking into 2/3 size bricks, which they're already kind of starting to. I've noticed pop up in some of the sets is a 1x1 by 2/3. I don't know if you call it a plate or a brick. That being said, you might be looking at this build, looking at all the rocks, looking at all the white and yellow, and all the exposed brickwork, and you might be thinking, that build's probably really repetitive. And well, you'd be wrong actually, because check this out. That's right, this set is modular, but wait, there's more. Check out how much this thing splits apart. It's incredible. Now, how this makes the build interesting or keeps it fresh, I guess, is that these are split up amongst the different instruction manuals. So you actually will build like one of these up, and then you'll build another one. So you're not building just rock pieces for the first half of the instructions, which is really nice. Starting with the smallest of the modules, just a little pier here, or a little dock, which actually makes up the courtyard, which is kind of interesting. Not a lot to say here. There's a little table setting for them to get some grub or have a couple pints of whatever they got on deck. If anybody's acting like a little bit too much of a salty dog, you can send them to the water. That's pretty cool. Moving along to the second module here, we've got a little bit of a beachfront with a couple of trees and a nice little outcropping for a gun up here, or a cannon, I suppose. Flipping around to the other side, we've got what looks to be a little bit of a distillery down below grade, which is kind of interesting that Lego would put that in there. Definitely looks like there's a little spillover of the booze, I guess, which is kind of interesting. And also a frog. Lego seems to be obsessed with putting frogs in certain sets these days. I don't know if that's like a calling card of the designer. The designer of this is Pierre Normandin, who's got a pretty good list of awesome sets that they've created, such as like the Creator Expert pickup truck, the Holiday Main Street, and a whole schwack of train sets, which I don't have the room or money for. Next, I'll move along to the crane module, probably the smallest of them all, small but mighty certainly. The crane mechanism, fair bit different than the original, which just used the rope secured to a certain point, and when you turn the crane, the string would go up and down just based on how much available string there was. This one just uses a simple little hand-operated winch, and you can move that up or down. And as I mentioned before, this crate just has a couple of guns inside of it, and it's not attached. You can just take it off easily, no problem. Pretty cool. You could drop it into the little rowboat here if you fancy. And on the main level, it's just got a whole whack of spare cannon ammo and an empty barrel. And not much to say below grade, just a little water passageway, which actually leads to our next module, which is the prison cell. As you can see right here, this is the end of the waterway, which our skeleton friend has unfortunately found themselves in. A spot of underwater bother. But this module has got a lot going on, and it's pretty interesting, so let's check it out. This is the prison cell, which you can easily pop the roof off, no problem. And inside the prison cell, there's just some straw on the ground, I guess, for accommodations. Lovely stuff. But if you find yourself prisoner in this jail cell, fear not, because escape is rather simple. Would you like to escape by the window today, sir? Just kick that out, no problem, held on by like 2 studs. Or would the sir like to escape by the floor today? Simply, maybe not so simply. Yeah, there you go. There is a little escape hatch here. See if Daryl wants to escape today. Put down your spyglass, Daryl. You don't need it for this demonstration. Here he goes. And check this out. Little waterfall there on the bottom. There he goes. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I kind of like that. That's awesome. Bam. Fully fortified once again. Moving along to the other side of the jail cell, we have a trap door here which can be opened. Of course, and then leads down. There's a nice little staircase there. Not staircase, ladder, I suppose. And you will be in the treasure room proper, which has some lovely gold ingots that I suppose this whole fortress is protecting, I guess. Although, there is one more secret that they're protecting, allegedly. This will bring us to the final module, the main one, really, which is the Big Master. As we've already talked pretty much about the main floor, we'll swing it around, take a look at the governor's office, which is pretty simple, although I will say the buildup of the office window was awesome. Really cool techniques, lots of sideways building and some pieces that fit really nicely. Just beautiful stuff. And then you can climb all the way up to the highest tower to fire some long-range shots at some very naughty pirates. You also get a look at the flag element for the fortress, which looks really good. As I mentioned once again, everything you see here is printed. There are no stickers to be found. Lovely, lovely stuff. And underneath here, you will find a little cavern with a torch and a barrel. And filled in that barrel, a little more treasure for your troubles, which is nice to see. And the final secret can be found right in here, actually. This little jumper, you can just pull that. You break this crate open, and there's a secret letter in there, which they tell you about. They tell you all about the secret. I won't spoil it. Yes, I will. I'll spoil it for you. It's nothing. It's just the secret letter, I guess. Maybe this has something to do with the original. I don't know. I don't have the original. I can't justify $300 on a used set. Sorry. Not that I don't want it. So now that you've seen all the modules, this does have some great implications. Basically, you can display this set in a bunch of different ways. There are a lot of possibilities, and it's really nice for somebody like me with limited space. Rather than just having the giant cube of a fortress, you can split it up. Let's see if I can get something going here that's a little bit different to give you an idea. I mean, like, here you go. How awesome is this? This is so cool. It's all just split all one way. And a final note I'll mention about the modularity. This set is split up amongst 4 instruction booklets, and since this set is modular, you could easily build this with 4 different people if you wanted to. I mean, I don't, because I'm kind of selfish with my Lego builds. I like to do it all by myself. But you could build with your family if you're into that sort of thing. The build of the base plate is kind of interesting in that you get a lot of like really big chunky parts, which makes the price more attractive as well. Like when you look through the back of the instructions, I'll flash up a picture of them, and you look at what pieces are included. There are large quantities of decently sized parts, like 2x4 dark bluish gray bricks. There's a ton of them. And same with those 2x2 bricks with one of the corners cut out. Oh my gosh, there are like 90 of them. It's insane. Overall, it just feels like you're getting a ton of great parts for a really good price, which is the beauty of a set that doesn't have a damn license to it. Admittedly, this is the first of my dabble into these remaster sets that Lego has been doing, along with like the Lion Knight's Castle, the Galaxy Explorer. They did chuck in the Blacktron Cruiser with this, which was pretty awesome. But this is amazing. If this is what the rest of them are like, and I've heard nothing but good about the other ones, then these are like no-brainers, honestly. This is such a cool set. When you have it all combined, it looks so good in relation to the old one, I think, just purely from a visual standpoint. And I mean, the build is obviously going to be better. I was watching an episode of the AFoOL podcast, and they were talking about how Lego sets have become more build focused rather than play focused. And I thought this would be a really good set to look at that with. And I don't have the original, but I'm sure it's more play focused and not focused on the build. But the way that you can split this set up makes it really good for play value, I feel, as well. My kiddo absolutely loves playing with this thing. She thinks it's awesome. She loves all the people, all the different ways that you can split it up. I've split it up a few times and she thinks it's a new set every time. It's so funny. So yeah, I think in some ways Lego is maybe, I think the metric for play value is definitely shifting, especially with the 18 plus sets. I mean, they're not really focused on play, most of them, but this set is such a gem, honestly. It's fun to play with, even as an adult. It's great to build. It's fantastic to look at. I mean, come on, look at the thing. One of the only other things I will say is there is a part in the instructions where it says, oh, by the way, if you have Pirates of Barracuda Bay, you can link it up nicely with this set. That's already been retired. That thing already costs a fortune, so thanks for salting that wound, Lego. Love to see it. But you know, other than that, I just love this set. I think it's so cool. I'm so pleased to have it. I think it'd be a welcome addition to anybody's, even if you're not a Pirates fan, but if you're a Pirates fan, this is like a no friggin' brainer, buddy. Just get in there. But I think even not as a Pirates fan, I think you can appreciate this. It's really fun to build. It's cool to play around with. It's great to look at. And I think if you want to break it down, there's a lot of great parts in here. You could probably build an entire mountain off of all the parts. Think about it. You got dark gray, you got light gray, and then you got the white. You do the white snow caps. That would work. But anyways, I'll thank you so much for watching this. Really appreciate it. If you're still here, kudos to you. You're amazing. Hit that like button. Get subscribed. Why not? And I would love to see a comment just about what you think about this set. How do you feel about it? Thank you again so much for watching. I will see you very soon, and take care. Goodbye. I'm gonna go blast some pirate scum. And I'm probably starting saving up for a used copy of Pirates of Barracuda Bay, honestly. God damn.